Hi guys, and welcome to today's session. My name is Gilles Brito. I'm a psychotherapist, coach, and hypnotist that lives and works in Sudbury, Ontario, Canada. Now, one of the things that's often asked of me by clients is, how do I get to happy? How do I get to contentment? And a lot of times, how I use kind of some references is, in order to get to content or to get to joy, which is a present moment emotion, is usually what are the emotions that hold you back? Either the ones that are future directed, like anxiety, or what are the ones that are past directed, like anger or sadness. A lot of times clients have a great difficulty identifying what has held them back. So with certain clients, it's about what happens next. They have a really hard time being present not only to their family and friends, but it's like they're constantly thinking ahead. Who's judging me? What's happening next? How do I get out of here? Just this kind of sense of panic and anxiety about the next moment. Now, on the flip side, the ones that live in the past are often consumed by emotions like anger and sadness. So a lot of times it's how people have hurt them before, losses that they've experienced in their life, or that kind of stuff. And so by being pulled in either the future or in the past, it's very difficult for people to really feel in the moment and feel happy in the moment. So a lot of the coaching that I do is helping people identify if it's the past or if it's the future. And then once you're able to neutralize those emotions, I'm going to talk about strategies in a second, then you're able to live much more present in the moment. So some of the strategies that are really effective that I like using in my practice is things like timeline therapy. Now, timeline therapy allows a person to kind of look back on events that they may have found upsetting in their life, neutralize that event, and then we do some forecasting or projection, whereas those old emotions that used to bother you at one point don't seem to bother you in the same way now. In doing that with clients, it's a technique that usually takes about 10 to 15 minutes in length if it's a single issue. And we're able to clear those issues, not in the sense of forgetting, but more neutralizing the event. So in other words, give a different meaning to the movie or to the story that they play in their mind. By changing the meaning of the story, it has less impact on them today. Kind of good way to look at that is that for many people, an experience that they have had early in their life, let's say when they were 8 or 9 or 10, still continues to perpetually play in their mind today, so in their 40s or 50s. Now, you can understand that a strategy that you may have had when you were 8 or 9 will be significantly not as useful when you're in your 30s or 40s. So a lot of times what we do is once the emotion is neutralized, the person can better attain a situation that is in the present. Sounds like a lot of complicated stuff. So I'm going to kind of give you an example. So I had a fellow who saw me, this was several years ago, and he really struggled with anger specifically. Once I did a kind of thorough history, I found out that for him, his anger was attached to experience of physical abuse when he was younger. Now, how that played out in his present is whenever somebody would slight him, insult him, or challenge him, he would react in a very aggressive, hostile manner, which in his case led to 9 assault charges. So when I saw him, he was referred to me by his probation officer, who had prefaced the conversation by telling me several times that he was a really nice man. I didn't dispute that, I just found it interesting that she said that. Now, when I met the person, he really was a really nice man, but when we kind of looked into what was happening in his life, he mentioned the fact that when he would be challenged, it's almost like he, good word, dissociated. He went to an altered state. People sometimes describe that as like a red out, so you kind of don't see the person anymore and you just start hitting. And what he had said emotionally to me, like he was in tears, is that most of the time people have to peel him off the person, and he often doesn't remember even throwing a punch. So it's like he's instantly propelled back to a previous time in his life. When we explore that more, using hypnosis and timeline therapy, what he had discovered is that when he was about 6 years old, he made the commitment, like an oath, that whenever he was going to be big enough, no one was ever going to push him around anymore. And what was interesting is he really thought that when his dad passed away, which was like 10 years prior to when I saw him, he thought that that issue was dead. And we kind of reframed it that, no, it seems like your dad continues to push you down the stairs every day. And so when we were able to do the work, we were able to neutralize those old emotions so that when he would be challenged now, it would just be in a moment thing. Now, of course, in his situation, it also increased, or also suggested that he decrease the use of alcohol, which can easily allow a person to access painful memories and negative states. So by reducing or eliminating, he eliminated his drinking, which I was really happy about. By eliminating his drinking, he was more apt to make more logical choices now that the emotions had been neutralized in his past. As a result, he was able to be happier and more content, which had a very positive effect on his life and on his relationships. Before I left the city that I was working in, it had been 6 years since he had had any kind of problems, legal problems, in his life. And prior to that, he had kind of a reoccurring theme. Every about a year or so, he would get another charge, another assault charge. So he was relieved that he was able to distance himself from the old destructive patterns of life. So again, just to wrap up, if you want to get to happy, it's kind of like, what do you need to face first? The fear of the future or the pain of the past and the sadness of the past? By doing that, by looking at yesterday and tomorrow, by neutralizing those two core centers of emotion, you're much more able to be present in the now, which is the joy. I hope this video has been helpful for you today. I'd love to hear from you. Please don't hesitate to hit a like or a comment or a suggestion at the bottom of the page. And with that, thank you so much for joining me. Have a wonderful day.